stood in the observation deck of the human ship called Resilience. He watched the massive space station grow larger through the window. The station was shaped like a giant ring, spinning slowly in the darkness of space. Lights blinked across its surface like stars. This was the Galactic Council's main headquarters, and had never seen anything like it. "It's beautiful," said beside him. She was the chief science officer, a woman who knew more about alien biology than anyone else on Earth. Her eyes were wide with wonder. "It's also terrifying," replied. He adjusted his diplomatic uniform. "We're about to meet species that have been traveling the stars for thousands of years. We've only had faster-than-light travel for 5 years." Smiled, "We'll be fine. The initial messages were friendly. They want to meet us." Wished he felt as confident. He was a former soldier before becoming a diplomat. His instincts told him to be careful. The galaxy was a big place, and humans were very new to it. The Resilience docked with the station 2 hours later. When the airlock opened, got his first look at an alien. The creature was tall and thin, with 4 arms and a body covered in smooth purple skin. Its head was round with 3 eyes arranged in a triangle. It wore flowing robes that seemed to change colors. "Welcome," the alien said. Its mouth didn't move but heard the words through his translator device. "I am of the people. We are honored to meet the humans of Earth." Bowed respectfully. "Thank you. I am representative of Earth's United Government. This is our science officer." Led them through the station. The hallways were wide and bright. Saw dozens of different alien species. Some walked on 2 legs like humans, others floated or crawled. One creature looked like a living cloud of gas. The diversity was amazing. They entered a huge chamber shaped like an amphitheater. Hundreds of aliens sat in curved rows of seats. At the center was a circular platform. Guided them to it. "The Council will now hear Earth's petition for membership," a deep voice announced. Stepped forward. He had practiced his speech 100 times. He talked about Earth's history, its cultures, and its hopes for joining the galactic community. He spoke about human achievements in science, art, and philosophy. The aliens listened quietly. When he finished, an alien stood up. This one was much different from. It had green, wet-looking skin and a wide mouth full of sharp teeth. Its body was thick and muscular. This was Warlord of the Dominion. "We have reviewed your biological data," said. His voice was rough like grinding stones. "Your world is unusual." "In what way?" asked. Gestured, and a holographic display appeared in the air. It showed Earth spinning in space. Numbers and symbols covered the image. "Your planet has a gravitational force of 1 standard G," said. "This is extremely high. Most civilized worlds have gravity between 0.3 and 0.6 G. Frowned. "We find our gravity quite normal." "Your atmospheric pressure is also very high," another alien added. This one looked like a large insect with crystal wings. "And your oxygen content is toxic at those levels. Most species would die within minutes breathing your air." "Your radiation exposure is extreme," continued. "Your star bombards your planet with harmful rays. Your magnetic field barely protects you. How do you survive?" Was confused. "This is just how our planet is. We've always lived like this." The chamber filled with clicking, buzzing, and other strange sounds. Realized the aliens were talking to each other, probably shocked. Stood up, his 3 eyes looked worried. "There is more. Your world is classified as a Class 12. This is the highest danger rating we have. No council member comes from anything above Class 4. Repeated. "A planet so dangerous that survival requires extreme adaptation," explained. "Your world has massive predators, creatures with venom that can kill in seconds. Natural disasters like earthquakes, hurricanes, and volcanic eruptions. Your oceans have pressure depths that would crush our ships. Your poles are frozen wastelands. Your equator is a burning desert in some places and a jungle filled with diseases in others. Looked at, neither of them had thought Earth was strange. It was just home. You even have creatures that hunt in groups, said. He sounded angry now. Apex predators that coordinate attacks. This is extremely rare in the galaxy. Well, yes, admitted. Wolves, lions, some raptors. Humans also hunted in groups when we were evolving. The chamber went completely silent. You were hunters, an alien squeaked, not prey animals that developed intelligence to escape predators. No, said slowly. Humans are omnivores. We evolved as persistent hunters. We would chase prey until it collapsed from exhaustion. More shocked silence. Large eyes narrowed. This council must consider carefully. Allowing a predator species from into our community could be dangerous. We're not dangerous, protested. We've had peace on Earth for decades. We've eliminated most diseases. We take care of our world. You have something called nuclear weapons, shot back. Devices that can destroy entire cities. You built these and used them on yourselves. That was a long time ago, said. We learned from our mistakes. We're better now. Stood to his full height. He was massive compared to the other aliens. I propose we table this discussion. The Council needs time to review the humans' application. There are security concerns. Looked uncomfortable but nodded. The Council will adjourn. We will reconvene in 7 days. And were escorted back to their ship. As they walked through the station, noticed aliens staring at them. Some looked curious, others looked afraid. That didn't go well, said quietly. No, agreed. They're scared of us. They think we're monsters because we come from a harsh world. Back on the Resilience, sent a report to Earth. He explained what happened. He told the government to be patient. The Council needed time to understand that humans were peaceful. What didn't know was that had no intention of waiting. The warlord returned to his private ship and contacted his fleet commanders. The humans are weak, told them. They survived their world through luck, not strength. Their technology is primitive. Their bodies are fragile. If we strike now, we can claim their resource-rich planet before the Council accepts them. Is this wise, warlord? One commander asked. The Council is full of cowards, snarled. They fear these creatures because of data and numbers, but I have fought in 100 wars. I know weakness when I see it. These humans are soft. We will crush them easily and take their world. Then the Council will see that they are the true power in this galaxy. Fleet began to move. 20 warships left their positions and set course for the human solar system. They would arrive in 3 days. On the Resilience, stared out at the stars. He hoped the Council would accept humans. He hoped they could build a peaceful future among the stars. He had no idea that war was already coming. Jin was having a normal day when everything went wrong. He was the captain of the Dauntless, a small defense frigate that patrolled the outer solar system. His job was usually boring: check on mining ships, make sure pirates stayed away, file reports. Nothing exciting ever happened this far from Earth. Captain, we're picking up something strange, his sensor officer said. Multiple contacts dropping out of FTL near Titan. Jin frowned. Titan, that's where the mining colony is. Are they expected visitors? Negative, sir. The colony isn't showing any scheduled arrivals, and these ships, they're big, really big. Jin felt his stomach tighten. Show me. The main screen lit up with tactical data. 20 large vessels had appeared in space near Saturn's moon. The computer was analyzing their designs. After a moment, text appeared. THREX Dominion WARSHIPS. Battle stations, Jin ordered. His voice was calm, but his heart was racing. Send an emergency signal to Earth. Tell them we have hostile contacts. His crew moved quickly. Alarms blared through the ship. Everyone ran to their positions. The Dauntless was small, built for police work, not war. Those ships could destroy it easily. "Sir, they are moving toward Titan," the sensor officer said. "The colony is hailing us. They're asking what's happening." Jin opened a channel to the colony. "This is Captain Jin of the Dauntless. You have hostile ships incoming. Evacuate to your shelters immediately. This is not a drill." On Titan heard the warning. She was a combat medic, but she hadn't seen combat in years. The mining colony was supposed to be safe. She worked in the medical center, treating minor injuries and common illnesses. Nothing serious. "Everyone to the emergency shelters," the colony director shouted over the speakers. "This is a code red evacuation." Grabbed her medical bag and ran. The shelters were deep underground, built into Titan's icy crust. As she ran, she saw the sky through the dome. Bright lights were getting closer. Ships, lots of them. The first explosion shook the colony. People screamed, kept moving, helping others who stumbled. She was trained for this. Stay calm, help others, survive. In space, Jin watched the fleet spread out. 3 of their cruisers were moving toward the colony. The others were positioning themselves in a battle formation. "They're going to bombard the colony," his weapons officer said. "Sir, we have to do something." Jin knew the odds. 1 small frigate against 3 cruisers. It was suicide. But there were 2,000 people in that colony. Families, children, people who depended on Earth's military to protect them. "Load all missile tubes," Jin ordered. "Target the lead cruiser. Prepare for evasive maneuvers." "Sir, we can't win this fight," his first officer said quietly. "I know," Jin replied, "but we can buy them time. Fire missiles, all tubes." The Dauntless launched every weapon it had. 40 missiles streaked toward the cruiser. The alien ship's defensive systems activated, shooting down most of them. But Jin had counted on that. While they were distracted, he brought the Dauntless around and fired the ship's main. The tungsten round hit the cruiser's shield at a significant fraction of light speed. The shield flared bright and failed. The round punched through the hull, tearing a massive hole in the ship's side. "Hit," the weapons officer shouted. "Their shield is down." The fleet seemed to pause, surprised. Then all of them turned toward the Dauntless. "Evasive maneuvers," Jin yelled. "Get us out of here." The small frigate dived and twisted through space. Energy beams cut through where it had been moments before. Jin's pilot was good, but there were too many enemy ships. A beam clipped the Dauntless, and the whole ship shook. "Hull breach on deck 3, someone shouted. "We've lost the starboard engine." Jin gritted his teeth. "Keep firing, make them work for it." The Dauntless fired again. Another round hit a second cruiser, damaging its weapons. They were angry now. They had expected an easy fight. This small human ship was actually hurting them. But numbers always win. A massive energy blast hit the Dauntless directly. Half the ship's systems went offline. "We're dead in space," the engineer reported. "I can't get the engines back online." Jin looked at his crew. They were scared but ready. "It's been an honor serving with you," he said. Before they could fire the killing shot, something changed. The 3 cruisers that had been moving toward the colony suddenly jerked to a stop. They weren't firing anymore. "Sir, the colony is launching missiles," the sensor officer said, confused. "But those aren't military missiles. Those are mining charges." On Titan had made it to the shelter, but she didn't stay there. When she saw the Dauntless getting destroyed trying to protect them, something inside her refused to hide. "We need to fight back," she told the colony director. "With what?" he asked. "We're miners, not soldiers." "We have excavation charges," said. "Explosives for mining, we have construction vehicles, we have welding torches, we have tools." The director stared at her. Then he smiled grimly. "You're right. This is our home. Load the charges onto the cargo haulers. We're going to war with mining equipment." They rigged the mining explosives with simple timers and launched them using cargo rockets. The charges weren't designed as weapons, but they were powerful. When they detonated near the cruisers, The explosions damaged their sensors and communications. The commanders were confused. First, the military ship fought back harder than expected. Now the civilian colony was attacking them with industrial equipment. This wasn't how raids were supposed to go. "Board the colony," one commander ordered. "We'll take it by force." 20 warriors in powered armor landed outside the colony dome. They were each 3 meters tall, armed with energy weapons and protected by personal shields. They would sweep through the colony and kill anyone who resisted. Watch them come. She had served in the military before becoming a medic. She knew how to fight. Around her, miners and engineers grabbed whatever weapons they could find: welding torches, wrenches, a few old firearms from the security office. They blasted through the airlock. They expected to see scared civilians. Instead, they found 50 angry humans waiting for them. "Fire!" shouted. The humans opened up with everything they had. The old firearms used bullets, not energy. The shields were designed to stop lasers and plasma. The bullets went right through. 3 warriors fell immediately. The others fired back, but the humans had already scattered. They knew the colony's layout. They used cover. They worked together. One cornered a miner named. The alien raised its weapon to fire, threw a wrench at its head, then tackled it. It was stronger but fought like a madman. He gouged at its eyes. He bit its arm. The finally threw him off, but by then had arrived with a plasma cutter. She sliced through the alien's armor at the joints. They screamed and fell. The fighting was brutal. They were shocked. These were supposed to be civilians, soft targets, but they fought with a fury they had never seen before. Took a hit from an energy weapon. It burned through her side. The pain was incredible, but she didn't stop. Her body pumped adrenaline into her blood. Her heart rate increased. Her muscles got more oxygen. She kept fighting. A warrior grabbed her. "You're wounded," it said through its translator. "You should be dying." "Humans don't die easy," growled. She had a knife in her hand. She stabbed it into the joint in this armor, right into its leg. The alien dropped her and stumbled back. The battle lasted 20 minutes. When it was over, 15 were dead. 5 retreated back to their ships, wounded and terrified. The fleet pulled back. They regrouped at the edge of Saturn's orbit. The commanders talked to each other over secure channels. "What are these creatures?" one asked. "The civilian fought like soldiers." "The wounded female didn't stop," another said. "She should have collapsed from her injuries. Instead, she got more aggressive." Received the reports. His eyes widened. He had been wrong. The humans weren't weak. They were something else, something dangerous. "Retreat," he ordered. "Back to our territory. We need to reconsider our approach." As the fleet prepared to leave, Jin watched from the damaged Dauntless. His ship had survived. The colony had survived. They had won. But Jin knew this wasn't over. They would be back, and next time they would bring more ships. Stood on the bridge of the battleship Indomitable. He was an admiral, one of Earth's highest-ranking military officers. He had received the emergency reports from Titan 3 hours ago. Now he was leading humanity's rapid response fleet toward the retreating. "How many ships do we have?" asked his first officer. 12 frigates, 6 destroyers, and 3 battleships including this one," the officer replied. "They still have 17 functional warships." Nodded. The numbers weren't good, but he didn't care. They had attacked human civilians. That couldn't go unanswered. Beside him stood an intelligence officer who specialized in alien languages and communications. She was working on decoding transmissions. "Admiral, I'm picking up something interesting," said. She put the audio on speaker. His voice came through, translated by the computer. "Fall back to the system. We need to regroup and deploy the biological weapons." And looked at each other. "Biological weapons," said. "Those are banned by galactic law." Typed rapidly on her console. "I'm searching the database. Yes, they have access to something called Plague 7. It's designed for Class 4 worlds. It attacks the respiratory system and breaks down cellular walls. Death occurs in less than 1 minute. Will it work on humans? Asked. Unknown, said. But if they're planning to use it, they think it will. Made his decision. Send a message to all ships. We're going after them. We end this before they can deploy those weapons on Earth. The human fleet accelerated. The ships were smaller than the vessels, but they were faster. Earth's engineers had built them with efficiency in mind. The ships were powerful but slow. We're gaining on them, the navigation officer reported. We'll intercept in 4 hours. Spent those hours planning. He studied the ship designs. He looked for weaknesses. He noticed something interesting. Their ships rely heavily on energy shields, he told his staff. But shields take power. If we can overload their systems, the shields will fail. How do we do that? Someone asked. Smiled. We hit them with everything at once. Missiles, lasers, make them choose what to block. When the fleets met, put his plan into action. The human ships spread out and attacked from multiple angles. They tried to maintain formation, but the humans were too fast. They darted in, fired, and retreated before they could respond effectively. All ships focus fire on the flagship, ordered. That's where is. 50 missiles and a dozen rounds hit the flagship simultaneously. Its shields flared and held, but just barely. The flagship's weapons fired back, destroying one human frigate. They're strong, muttered, but we're faster, keep moving, don't let them pin us down. The battle raged for an hour. 2 more human ships were destroyed, but the humans managed to cripple 4 cruisers. Then something changed. Admiral, the flagship is launching pods, said. Analysis shows they contain biological agents. They're heading toward our ships. Shoot them down, ordered. The human fleet tried, but there were too many pods. Several reached their targets and exploded in clouds of green gas. On the destroyer Vigilant, the gas seeped into the ship through damaged hull plating. Sung was a Marine lieutenant on that ship. He was in the armory with his squad when the alarms went off. Biological contamination detected, the computer announced. Seek medical treatment immediately. Sung felt it hit him like a hammer. His throat burned. His lungs felt like they were on fire. Around him, his Marines collapsed, gasping for air. Medical teams to all decks, the captain's voice shouted over the intercom. We have casualties. Sung tried to stand but fell to his knees. The pain was incredible. He could feel his cells dying. His body was shutting down. This was it. This was how he would die. But then something happened. The pain reached a peak and started to fade. Not because the poison was gone, but because his body was fighting back. Sung's immune system had evolved on Earth, a planet filled with deadly diseases. His ancestors had survived plagues that killed millions. His body knew how to fight. White blood cells swarmed the toxin. His liver and kidneys worked overtime to filter the poison out. His lungs, damaged by the gas, started to repair themselves. It hurt. Every breath was agony, but he was breathing. After 10 minutes, Sung stood up. He was shaking and weak but alive. Around him, his squad was also getting to their feet. They looked terrible. Some were bleeding from their noses and mouths, but they were alive. Sir, you should be dead, a medic said when she arrived. That toxin should have killed you in seconds. Apparently, we're harder to kill than they thought, Sung replied. His voice was rough. Watched the reports with growing horror. The biological weapon had hit 6 human ships. By his calculations, everyone on those ships should be dead. Instead, the humans were recovering. Most of them were sick, but they weren't dying. How is this possible? Demanded. Plague 7 has never failed before. His science officer brought up data on human biology. Their immune systems are extraordinary, warlord. They evolved on a planet with thousands of different diseases. Their bodies are designed to fight infection. Then we use something stronger, said. Deploy the atmospheric toxin. we'll vent it into their ships. The changed tactics. Instead of biological weapons, they started boarding human vessels. Once inside, they would vent the atmosphere and suffocate the humans. Sung and his Marines were ready when the boarded the Vigilant. They had put on combat armor and grabbed their weapons. They were still weak from the poison, but they could fight. The blasted through the airlock. 10 warriors in powered armor rushed in, firing energy weapons. The Marines fired back with conventional firearms. The battle was fierce. Then one of them reached the environmental controls. It activated the emergency vent. All the air started being sucked out of the compartment. The warriors were built to need constant airflow. Without oxygen, they would die in less than 2 minutes. They assumed the humans would die even faster. Sung felt the air leave his lungs. His training kicked in. He took one last deep breath before the air was completely gone. Around him, his Marines did the same. They expected the humans to panic, to collapse, to die. Instead, Sung and his squad kept fighting. Humans could hold their breath for several minutes. Elite soldiers like Marines trained to hold it even longer. They had 4, maybe 5 minutes before they would pass out. Sung aimed carefully. Without air to carry sound, everything was silent. He fired. A warrior went down. He fired again. Another fell. They were panicking now. They couldn't breathe. Their vision was going dark. Meanwhile, the humans kept shooting, kept moving, kept fighting. After 3 minutes, all the warriors were dead. Sung immediately went to the environmental controls and restored the atmosphere. Air rushed back in. He and his Marines gasped, filling their lungs. "How did you survive?" a wounded warrior asked before it died. "You should be dead." "We're human," Sung said simply. "We don't die easy." The battle in space was turning. The humans had lost 4 ships, but they had destroyed 8 vessels. More importantly, they had adapted to every weapon they used. Realized he was losing. His fleet was being picked apart. The humans were relentless. Even when wounded, even when poisoned, even when suffocating, they kept fighting. "All ships retreat," ordered, "full speed back to space." But wasn't going to let them escape. "All ships pursue, we're taking their flagship." The human fleet chased the fleeing. They focused all their fire on ship. The flagship's shields finally failed under the constant barrage. A dozen Marines, led by Sung, boarded the ship. The fighting inside was brutal. They defended their ship fiercely, but the humans had momentum. They had anger. They had the memory of the colony attack driving them forward. Sung personally confronted in the command center. The warlord was huge, twice the size of any human. He had energy weapons and powered armor. "You cannot defeat me," growled. "I am a warrior. I have conquered 100 worlds." "We're from Earth," Sung replied. He was bleeding from several wounds, but he stood straight. "We survived our world. You're just another bully." They fought, was stronger and better armed. But Sung was faster, he was smarter, and he was angry. He dodged the warlord's attacks and struck at weak points in the armor. Finally, Sung managed to disable weapons. The warlord stood there, defeated. "Kill me," said. "I would rather die than surrender." "No," Sung replied. "You're going to stand trial. You're going to answer for what you did." Was taken prisoner. His fleet surrendered. The battle was over. Stood on the bridge of the Indomitable and looked at the captured ships. Earth had won its first real war, but he knew the galaxy was watching. "Send a message to the Galactic Council," said to. "Tell them what happened here. Tell them that humanity will defend itself. And tell them we're still interested in joining their council, but only as equals." Smiled and started composing the message. The galaxy was about to learn a hard lesson. Never underestimate the creatures from the called Earth. Stood before the Galactic Council once again. But this time, everything was different. When he had first come here, he was asking for membership. Now, he was demanding answers. "Your species attacked us without provocation," said. His voice was calm but firm. The Dominion killed 17 of our people. They tried to use illegal weapons. They attempted to commit genocide. What does the Council have to say about this? The amphitheater was packed. Every council member was present. News of the battle had spread across the galaxy. Everyone wanted to see how this would end. Stood up, his 3 eyes looked tired. Ambassador, the Council is deeply troubled by these events. Warlord acted without authorization. His actions violated dozens of galactic laws. And yet he is a member of your council, replied. His species sits in this chamber. What punishment will they face? We are discussing appropriate measures, another said, but we must also address the human response. Your fleet pursued into their territory. You boarded their ships. You captured their leader. This is also aggressive behavior. His eyes flashed with anger but put a hand on his arm. She stepped forward. May I speak? She asked. The council agreed, activated a holographic display. The council called us dangerous because we come from she began. You looked at our planet's data and were horrified, but you don't understand what that data actually means. Let me explain. She showed an image of Earth from space. It looked beautiful, blue and green and white. Earth has a gravity of 1g. You said this is extremely high. To you, maybe. But to us, this gravity made us strong. Our bones are dense. Our muscles are powerful. We can carry heavy loads. We can run long distances. Gravity shaped us. The image changed to show Earth's atmosphere. You said our oxygen levels are toxic. Yes, we breathe a mixture that would kill most of you, but oxygen is reactive. It creates energy. It lets us heal fast. It lets us fight when injured. Our blood carries oxygen so efficiently that we can hold our breath for several minutes. That's why your atmospheric attack failed. Change the image again. Now it showed a human body with various systems highlighted. You sent a biological weapon designed for Class 4 worlds. It should have killed us instantly, but Earth has diseases that make your plague look gentle. We survived smallpox, which killed 300 million humans. We survived influenza, tuberculosis, malaria. Our immune systems evolved to fight thousands of different pathogens. Your weapon was just another disease. We got sick, yes, but we lived. The council members were silent. They were beginning to understand. Stood up next. She was a cultural liaison, someone who studied human history and society. The council fears us because we're predators, said, but you don't understand what that means. Yes, our ancestors hunted, but we didn't hunt like your predators do. We were persistence hunters. She showed a video. It was old footage from Africa showing ancient humans hunting. They were chasing an antelope across the hot savanna. This animal is faster than the humans, explained. It can run 40 miles per hour. Humans can only run 15 miles per hour, but watch what happens. The video continued. The antelope would run ahead, then stop to rest. The humans would catch up. The antelope would run again. This went on for hours. In the heat of the day, under the burning sun, the humans never stopped. They just kept coming. Finally, after 4 hours, the antelope collapsed from exhaustion. The humans caught it. We didn't need to be the fastest, said. We just needed to never stop. We would chase prey until it died of exhaustion. We would follow it for days if necessary. This is what being a human means. We don't give up. We don't surrender. If you hurt us, we will keep coming. If you poison us, we will adapt. If you attack our families, we will chase you to the ends of the universe. A small stood up. She looked like a rodent with large eyes. This is exactly what we feared, she squeaked. You are relentless killers. No, interrupted. We're survivors. There's a difference. We don't seek war. We don't want to conquer, but we will protect what's ours. Brought up more images. These showed Earth's ecosystem. The council was horrified that we have pack predators, she said. Wolves that hunt in groups. Lions that work together. But you know what else this taught us? Cooperation. Teamwork. We learned that working together makes us stronger. She showed images of human cities, of people helping each other. of rescue workers saving lives. Yes, we can be dangerous, admitted, but we're also compassionate. We save animals from extinction. We help other humans in need. We create art and music. We explore not to conquer but to learn. We're complex just like any sentient species. Pulled up historical records. You mentioned our nuclear weapons, she said. Yes, we built them. Yes, we used them twice. In a war that killed 70 million people, and you know what we did after. We were so horrified by what we had done that we worked together to prevent it from happening again. For over 200 years, we've had the power to destroy our entire planet. We haven't used it. We learned control. We learned peace. She showed the founding of the United Earth Government. We unified our planet, continued. Hundreds of different nations and cultures came together. We stopped fighting each other. We turned our eyes to the stars, not to conquer but to explore, not to destroy but to learn. We came to this council wanting to be friends, to be partners. Stood up, but the thought you were weak. They thought a species would be easy to defeat. Why? Smiled sadly. Because they looked at the data and saw what they expected to see. They saw a planet with high gravity and assumed we'd be slow. They saw our oxygen levels and assumed we'd be vulnerable. They saw that we evolved as prey animals, wait no, as hunters, and assumed we'd be mindlessly aggressive. They didn't understand, added. High gravity doesn't make you slow, it makes you strong. High oxygen doesn't make you weak, it makes you resilient. Being a hunter doesn't make you evil, it makes you determined. Activated another display. This one showed footage from the battle at Titan. Look at what actually happened, she said. Captain Jin, in a ship that was outmatched 10-1, still fought to protect civilians. He could have run. He chose to stay. A medic led miners against trained warriors. She was wounded but kept fighting, not because she wanted to kill but because she wanted to protect her home. The footage showed the human fleet pursuing the Admiral didn't seek glory, said. He didn't want war. But when an enemy threatened humanity with biological weapons, he did what any leader would do. He protected his people. The final footage showed Sung facing. Lieutenant Sung could have killed warlords, said. He had every right, had ordered the attack, had deployed illegal weapons. But Sung chose mercy. He took prisoner because humans believe in justice, not revenge. The council chamber was completely silent. Every member was watching the footage, seeing humanity in a new light. Spoke quietly. I think I understand now. You're dangerous, yes, but only to those who threaten you. Exactly, said. We don't want to be your enemies. We want to be your friends. But if someone attacks us, they will learn that humans are very, very hard to kill. An old one who had been silent until now stood up. He was from a species called one of the oldest in the galaxy. I have lived for 300 years, he said. I have seen many species join this council. I have never seen one like humanity. You are fierce and gentle, strong and compassionate, dangerous and kind. I believe the galaxy needs species like you. He looked around the chamber. I move that Earth be granted full membership in the Galactic Council immediately. Furthermore, I move that the Dominion be suspended pending investigation into their war crimes. Seconded, said immediately. The vote was overwhelming. Every council member except the representatives voted yes. Earth was now a full member of the Galactic Council. But more than that, something had changed. Word spread across the galaxy. Every species that heard the story learned the same lesson. Don't attack humans, don't threaten them, don't underestimate them. They come from which means death itself couldn't stop them. They are persistence hunters, which means they never give up. They protect their own, which means they will fight to the last. Most importantly, they have something most species lack, something their harsh world forced them to develop. They have the will to survive, no matter what. 6 months had passed since Earth joined the Galactic Council, was now officially Earth's ambassador with an office on the Council Station. He spent his days in meetings, negotiating treaties, and building relationships with other species. It was peaceful work, and he enjoyed it. But peace, he was learning, required constant effort. "Ambassador, you have a visitor," his assistant said. Looked up from his desk. "Who is it?" "Warlord." Felt his hand instinctively move toward where he used to keep his weapon when he was a soldier. But he wasn't a soldier anymore, and was a prisoner awaiting trial. "Send him in," said. Entered escorted by 2 guards. The proud warlord looked different now. He wore simple clothes instead of armor. His head was lowered. He looked humbled. "Ambassador," said, "thank you for seeing me." "I wasn't sure I would," admitted. "You tried to destroy my people." "I know," said. He sat down slowly. "That's why I came. I wanted to explain and to apologize." Leaned back in his chair. "I'm listening." Took a deep breath. "They are warriors. We have always been warriors. We build our society around strength. We believe that the strongest species should lead the galaxy. When we heard about humans, I saw a threat." "A threat?" asked. "Yes," said. "Your planet's data showed you were from a. No species from such a harsh world should be able to develop advanced civilization. It's too difficult, but you did. I thought if we didn't stop you early, you would become unstoppable." "So you decided to attack first," said. "I did," admitted. "And I was wrong, not just wrong about attacking you, wrong about everything. I thought strength meant the ability to destroy. I thought warriors were the highest achievement, but your people showed me something different." He looked directly at. "True strength is choosing not to destroy when you have the power to do so. Real warriors protect, they don't just conquer. Lieutenant Sung could have killed me. He didn't. That showed more strength than any battle I've ever fought." Was quiet for a moment. "What will happen to you?" "I will be tried for war crimes," said. "I will probably spend the rest of my life in prison. I accept this. It's justice. But before I go, I wanted you to know. I was wrong about humans, and the galaxy is better with you in it." After left, sat alone in his office. He thought about war and peace, about strength and mercy. Humanity had passed its first test, but he knew more challenges would come. On Earth, life had changed too. The planet that had once been isolated was now connected to thousands of worlds, had returned from Titan and was now training galactic medics. "The key to human medicine," she explained to a class of alien medical students, "is that we assume the worst. Our bodies can suffer incredible damage. We've learned to treat injuries that would kill most species." She showed them a simulated injury. "This patient has lost 30% of their blood. What do you do?" A student raised a hand. "We call it a fatal injury. There's nothing to do." "Wrong," said. "Humans can survive losing up to 40% of their blood. You transfuse, you stabilize, you save them. We never give up on a patient." The alien students were amazed. Human medical techniques were saving lives across the galaxy. Treatments that Earth had developed for its harsh environment worked on other species too. Jin was now an admiral, helping to train the Galactic Council's defense forces. He stood on a training ground with officers from 20 different species. "The most important lesson I can teach you," Jin said, "is this: never underestimate your opponent. The thought they knew what humans were capable of. They were wrong. Always assume your enemy is stronger, smarter, and more determined than you think." He showed them tactical simulations. "Look at this battle. One small ship against superior forces. What's the correct response?" "Retreat," several officers said. "Maybe," Jin said. "But what if you can't? What if people are depending on you? Then you fight smart. You use what you have. You make them pay for every inch. You buy time for help to arrive. You never just give up." The officers took notes. Human military doctrine was spreading through the galaxy's defense forces. Not aggressive tactics, but defensive ones. How to protect, how to survive, how to endure. Wu was running cultural exchange programs. Carefully selected aliens were visiting Earth to learn about human society. They had to sign extensive waivers and wear protective equipment, but the programs were popular. "This is a dog," Wu said to a group of visitors in a park. A golden retriever wagged its tail. "It's a predator," a small alien squeaked, backing away. "Yes," Wu said, "but humans domesticated dogs 30,000 years ago. We bred them to be companions. Now they're our friends." The alien approached cautiously. The dog licked its hand. The alien made a sound of surprise. "You bond with predators?" it asked. "We bond with everything," Wu said. "We have pets that are predators, prey animals, reptiles, even insects. Humans form emotional connections easily. It's part of who we are." The alien looked at Wu with new understanding. "You're predators who learn to love. That's why you're so dangerous but also so kind." Wu smiled. "That's a good way to put it." Back on the council station, was in an emergency meeting. Had called together the security committee. "We have a problem," said. "A new threat has appeared at the galaxy's edge. A species called the Ravagers. They're hostile, extremely hostile. They've already destroyed 2 colonies." Looked at the data. The Ravagers were technologically advanced and completely ruthless. They didn't negotiate. They just attacked. "What's the council's plan?" asked. "We're debating," I said. "Some want to negotiate. Others want to evacuate the nearby systems. We need to study them first, understand their capabilities." "How long will that take?" asked. "Months, maybe years," they said. "You don't have that long," said. "They're moving fast. Every day you wait, more people die." "What do you suggest?" asked. "Stood up, send us. Send the human fleet, we'll stop them." "But you're just one species," another protested. "You only have 50 warships." "That's 50 more than are there now," replied. "And humans are very good at fighting when we need to." The debate went on for hours, but eventually the council agreed. The human fleet was authorized to engage the Ravagers. Admiral received the orders and smiled grimly. "Tell the fleet to prepare for combat. We're going hunting." His officers saluted. The human fleet, now battle-tested and experienced, moved toward the galactic rim. They were ready. When they arrived, they found the Ravagers attacking another colony. Didn't hesitate. He deployed his ships and engaged. The battle was fierce. The Ravagers were strong, but they made the same mistake they had made. They assumed humans would break easily. They were wrong. Human ships took damage and kept fighting. Human soldiers were wounded and kept advancing. The Ravagers threw everything they had at the humans. It wasn't enough. After 12 hours of combat, the Ravager fleet retreated. The colony was saved, and word spread again across the galaxy. The humans had done it. They had faced a new threat and won. Received the report and felt pride swell in his chest. Humanity had truly become part of the galactic community, not as conquerors, not as victims, but as protectors. Came to his office later that day. "The Council wants to establish a new position," said. "Guardian of the Galactic Peace. We want to offer it to Earth." "What does it involve?" asked. "When threats emerge, humans would respond first," explained. "You would be the Council's shield. Other species would support you, but you would lead the defense." Thought carefully. "We'll accept, but on one condition." "What's that?" "We don't work alone," said. "We train others, we share our knowledge, we build a force that includes all species. Humans will lead, yes, but everyone contributes. That's how you build real peace." His 3 eyes blinked. "Agreed, I'll present it to the Council." That night stood at the observation window of the station, looking at the stars. Earth was out there somewhere, a small blue marble in the vast darkness. His species had come so far, from a single planet to a galactic power, from isolated survivors to protectors of thousands of worlds. And it all came down to one simple truth: humans were hard to kill. Not because they were invincible, but because they refused to stay down. They adapted. They persevered. They survived. Any species that tried to destroy humanity would learn the hard way. Weren't easy targets. They were the worst possible targets. Because they didn't just survive, they thrived, and they protected those who couldn't protect themselves. The galaxy had learned its lesson. Some learned it from this failure. Others learned it from the Ravagers' defeat. Eventually, every species would understand. Don't attack humans. Don't threaten them. Don't push them. But if you need help, if you need protection, if you need someone who will never give up and never surrender, then humans would be there. That was humanity's gift to the galaxy. Not fear, not conquest, but the promise that someone would always stand against the darkness. Someone would always fight back. Someone who came from a world so harsh that they learned to make anywhere their home. Someone from Earth. And that made all the difference.